We are doing an episode today about pundits and TV.
Yeah. I'd have a keeper pundit because we don't get keepers as pundits.
Because you said they were fucking weird.
Did you hear? Sky Sports, you don't need it though. You just mute the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I actually would end up muting the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then Joey Barton was like, why is he on there? He was like, he played with him, great guy, hasn't got a clue about football. He said all they know how to do, goalkeepers, is save shots.
They're all like just broadcaster slags, aren't they?
Yeah, not every club has a representative. You go on Sky Sports, they've got Liverpool and United.
I've got one.
Who do we have?
I know a pundit, again, not being named, who would protect a club massively in the media, and then you'd hear voice notes.
Why does no one else take it too far except him?
Yeah, that is true.
So he's going down a slippery path. Like, there's a few things he said now where it's like, is the mask getting pulled back?
How much money is in punditry? Right, there's no mystery today as our sponsor, 3 Points Travel, specialise in mystery football tours across Europe. Each package includes 3 Points matchday tickets, return flights and weekend accommodation. Plus, each of you will receive personalised city and club guides and team merch.
Yeah, that's good. And they have destinations ranging from Como to Copenhagen.
Wow.
Madrid to Munich, Vienna to Valencia, and you'll unbox your mystery team before your departure.
That's sick.
That is decent.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, 3 Points Travel.
Beautiful. This episode is sponsored by TornSports.com, and I've got a lovely pair of sliders here. Every footballer's dream. What else do they do, Lou?
They do grip socks, all heights. So,
nice.
you know, they've got the ankle ones. And they actually do, I don't know, you know, the footballers' trend these days is where they have the little cut in the back of their matchday socks.
Yeah.
So they do them as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they do plenty of different socks and obviously sliders. So.
That's sick. Yeah, these sliders are very nice. If you want to grab yourself anything, head over to TornSports.com and get yourself something nice. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Ball Talk. My name is Noah and I'm here with Lewis and Ken. This is one of our Insight episodes where we find out everything about the footballing world. However, I just need a disclaimer in here. This is the morning after Declan Rice just bagged 2 free kicks to put us 3-0 up against Madrid. So if we randomly talk about Declan Rice and Arsenal, just let us be. Because I'm still buzzing. I don't know about you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But we are doing an episode today about pundits and TV.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that might be the easiest job in football.
Or in ever.
Yeah, the easiest job ever. Like, is it easy to be a pundit?
I think it's a good life to be a pundit.
Okay.
So I think it's a very enjoyable life. Like, you can, especially if you're a Champions League pundit, like you're one of the top ones. Mm-hmm. One week you can be in Paris, next you can be in Madrid. Yeah. You're there watching a game and then just loosely talking about it. It's not like you're a commentator. You've got to remember all these stats and constantly think about how you're explaining the game.
You don't have to be that technical.
You can sometimes say like 2 sentences for the first half, 2 sentences for the second half. Yeah. And you're there and you just watch the game.
Collected probably 30k.
So I think it's a very enjoyable job, but it can be like, I think people be surprised when you sit down and you get asked a question that you'd be fine answering off camera, but now you've got to do it on camera where you know you're live to millions.
There's a bit of PR in there, isn't there?
You've got to articulate yourself.
That's a good time to do it. You could be a pundit.
Yeah, but you've got to speak well.
Yeah.
And like do that under pressure, I suppose.
Yeah, you're still live in front of millions of people, so I guess...
It's harder than you think, but it's still an easy life.
Ken, could you be a pundit?
I could, yeah.
Would you want to be?
The opportunity came about. like Lewis said, it's a pretty chilled out job, isn't it? Like, assuming you can articulate yourself well.
Oh, we fucked that word. And I'm still good.
You need to say it. Say it.
Articulate. You just said.
If you can do that well, then you'll be fine. Yeah. And if you know football, which at the end of the day, most of the time they hire ex-pros who've played the game. You don't have to be, a tactical genius, but you understand the game enough to talk about it so that people at home can understand. It's pretty... Yeah, I don't want to downplay it too much, but it's pretty straightforward.
Let's be real.
Plus, it comes with, like you said, the luxuries of traveling around. You go to the stadiums and watch live. Yeah, everyone's watching the games anyways. You're just getting loads to talk about.
Yeah. We waffle about it here. Can't we do it on TV? You mentioned they tend to be ex-footballers. Do you have to have played football at a certain level to be a pundit?
To be a pundit, yes, you've got to. Yeah, that's the whole idea of what a pundit is, really. Like someone who's maybe an ex-manager who might not have had to play football. Someone who's been in the game for years, understands it, involved in it. I don't think you can be sort of like just a really football nerd, really big football nerd or fan, understand loads about that side of it, like a commentator, like a main commentator. It's a different role, isn't it?
I think it's the difference between like a commentator, a pundit, commentator and pundit be very separate. Podcasts would be also quite separate. Yeah. I think when people tune into like live sport and want to watch and then hear reviews from pundits and stuff, they kind of want to hear from people that have been in that position. Yeah. And this isn't just any footballer either. We're talking about people that have been at the same level. If you're watching a Premier League game, people don't even want to hear pundits who've played League Two. Yeah, they'd want to hear someone who's also played in the Premier League. Yeah, because
straight away you go, "Oh, you played League Two, mate. Why are you talking about Premier League?" Do you know what I mean?
Even if
you really understand football.
Yeah.
But people just want to hear someone who can have the same sort of, I don't know, like relatability as the people that they're watching. So,
and sometimes, like, even if what the pundit's saying you completely disagree with, you're almost just more interested to hear someone who's been at the top level just hear what they want to say, hear what they have to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah, 100%. Because they do have the analysis like more than we do. There was a really funny clip. I can't remember it exactly. I want to butcher it on Sky Sports, Football Focus, whatever. You know when it comes up below their name of like Champions League winner, or like scored in World Cup final. They had like 4 people, and it was like Champions League winner, won the Premier League twice. I can't remember who it was, but it said like made a 10-minute appearance in the Johnson's Paint Trophy third round. It's like, that's a violation. That is.
You might as well just say like footballer.
But straight away you're like, I'm not listening to him.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. Like, even me, I wouldn't listen to him.
Exactly.
I shouldn't really. I should know better.
But. We've touched on it being the easiest job in football, and like, I think. In a sense it is, but it's still technical, right? You're still live to millions of people. Something could go wrong. You can fluff your words like we have done today.
Yes.
Auto cues, if you've got to read the teleprompter. There is more to it than just sitting here with your mates chatting about football, because that's what I think we think it is.
You've got to be very careful with your information, because if you get it wrong, because millions of people are watching, you will be called out on it. And we've seen loads of examples of that. I think that's probably the toughest part, like, don't come out and talk shit, basically. Don't say anything that very quickly can just be disproven. Because if you do that too many times...
But the internet is a fact checker, isn't it?
Or doesn't align with the broadcaster's brand.
That's true.
Don't even think about that.
But you'd probably be trained for that.
I think that one of the hard bits is, like you said, the new tech.
Yeah.
So, like, remember when the touch screen first come out, and then it'd be like Monday Night Football, and they'd have the pen on the screen.
He's trying to circle it, and he just tap it.
And it'd be like trying to do so they'd be trying to do a straight line, and then they get a curved line come out, and they're like, I love this player, but this one's even better.
They have to switch it. It is like, if you've ever done any work with TV cameras, live is really hard. Yeah. And also there is an element of, you have to think about what you're saying, not only to articulate properly, but like swearing.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I'd struggle on that.
If you're just talking to, like, imagine if you're talking to Mika Richards. You would want to be like, fucking hell, did you see that? Do you know what I mean? It's really, really hard. I've also just got
Nicholas Jackson.
If you're watching
we don't talk about that.
If you're watching visuals, we've got Nicholas Jackson behind us today.
Technical difficulties.
But that is, see, we couldn't do it, could we? But in that sense, like, actually doing live TV is tough.
Yeah.
And presenting. Are you still looking at
Nicholas Jackson? If they're listening on audio, we do have a screen behind us that usually has the Ball Talk logo. It's just got Nicholas Jackson doing
this is now
Ronaldo celebration.
Nicholas Jackson talk, not Ball Talk.
By the way, Gary Neville. Yes. Back to he had one of them in his house, didn't he? The touchscreen boards to get used to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That shows the sort of work ethic of the pro footballers come over into his pundit
100%.
career.
But I actually think I've done some presenting, do some content. The hardest thing is not messing up speaking.
Yeah.
You both did it earlier. It's really, really, like, you think it's easy, but when you're talking to your mates, you just move past it. Oh, I've forgotten a letter in that sentence, you know what I mean? Or I didn't pronounce my T's just then.
They do it though. Like, you wouldn't.
They do.
If you do what we just did there, you wouldn't be the end of the world.
No. But I think I'm thinking more like Kate Scott. When she's doing
the presenter, I'd
pieces.
say the presenter definitely, Kate Scott.
That's tough,
theirs is definitely a lot more like, you don't really want to fluff your lines.
Yeah, and they've got someone saying, as you're talking, like 3, 2, 1, we're going to this. 3, 2, and
have you ever had that?
But she's not really a pundit, is she? It's more. She's the presenter. That's definitely a lot tougher than
I've never had it, but I've been in like Sky Sports Studios and seen it live.
It's horrible.
Really?
Yeah, that would be tough.
I imagine, like, if we're talking about TV as well, that is 50 times harder than being a pundit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying to, like, you're talking...
Because you've got the knowledge, which is the hard part of being a pundit.
If you started talking now and I was talking at you, if you started talking to Ken now about your day-to-day, but then when you've got to go... Do you know what I mean? Like, that's in your ear. It's horrible.
It's mad.
And you've got to try and... that would be tough.
What football channel has the best pundits? Because I think we just touched on one that we might...
CBS.
Yeah.
Definitely.
CBS, yeah.
But
would you prefer like watching CBS over a match of the day?
1,000,000%.
Do you think match of the day's lost its touch?
Well, it's definitely lost its touch, but that's more because of YouTube. I think the way highlights are out within 40 minutes.
I never stay up and watch that anymore.
Yeah, but even that,
it is YouTube, isn't it? Yeah.
Because of YouTube, you just be like, oh, what's the point?
I've watched all.
Yeah. I think that's the reason, not because of the actual pundits in the show. The pundits on Match of the Day were good, to be fair.
It used to be like there used to be pretty much no games on telly years ago, and then only Match of the Day would show it. So
3 p.m. Saturday and all the games are blacked out. So Saturday night you watch it.
You know? So why have you just like instantly gone CBS? Why is CBS so good?
Multiple reasons. I think they've got a good balance between, obviously, the pundits on there are respectable in terms of their own playing careers. You got Thierry, you got Micah, you got Jamie Carragher. I think they got the right balance between giving good football analysis, which they do, plus just being a bit more entertaining, a bit more loose.
That's what it is, isn't it?
It's literally just that. They're not too serious. You don't get any type of feeling like anyone's biased on there or anything. It's just a pure football conversation, a bit of analysis, a bit of entertainment. So for me, they've got the best balance.
There's a level of like, this is going to sound out of order towards them, but their unprofessionalness makes them the best.
They're just not too serious when they're on there.
Although, but you see moments of like Jamie gets a bit excited.
That's the problem.
One where he said Kate was cheating on her partner, and it's like that's TV.
He's going down the bad path.
But it's just him though. I think Thierry never goes too far. Michael never goes. It's perfect because like when he goes too far, it's not even too far. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Carragher will come out and say,
"You cheat on your partner, Kate."
Yeah.
It's because he's a Scouser, mate. They're all wrong uns. But
don't put me in that boat.
No, he's going down a slippery path. Like there's a few things he said now where it's like, is the mask getting pulled back?
I feel like
he's doing way too much.
He struggles to see the line sometimes. Like that was just. Do you remember when he said that? That was just.
It
weird,
was what?
Man.
It was.
There was just. It weren't even like.
She was like she's loyal, and then he was like not to your partner. That was mad.
Like, I think it's for me though. Like he wouldn't say that unless he's heard something.
Hey, we're not starting allegations on here, are we?
They're not going to listen to this. But you telling me, right? You'd say that if you've not heard anything.
Regardless, even if what you're saying is true, so let's assume he's heard it. Why are you saying that on live TV?
No, I'm not backing him up.
Let me
shouldn't say it.
Let me kind of back him up a bit, right? You're with your mates at the pub, and my mate says like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely saying something like that in front of his missus just for a laugh. Like it's funny." I think this is my thing. This is why
he's not the one in front of his
being on TV is tough because you get into jokes and you get to laughing. You take it too far, and it's like, oh shit.
Why does no one else take it too far except him?
Yeah, that is true.
That is true. You still got to remember you are on TV.
He goes there straight from the pub. That's why he's still in the pub.
Yeah, literally. I think he like the jokes Thierry and Kate and Micah have, and he's like, I've got to say
that's what it is.
Funny.
I don't think he's not nowhere near as funny as them two.
Yeah.
But Thierry's like class and
Micah's genuinely just hilarious.
Yeah.
Thierry's literally, like you said, he's got class, but he's got a bit of banter as well. And Carragher feels like he's got to keep up with him, and that's when he would say some crazy stuff like that.
And to be fair, Thierry doesn't have to be as funny.
Because of who he is. He's just got
this.
Carragher's
Thierry,
what weight is that?
I think it's just that neither of them have, like Micah and Carragher, in comparison to Thierry, have no weight in their names. But Micah makes up for it by being funny. And Carragher feels like, okay, I need to also
let me just piss everyone off.
I need to do something.
But they are good.
We'll go back to who is the best channel.
I watch CBS the least, just because I don't watch football. Like I don't watch.
But you probably see the most CBS clips, don't you?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
So if we're talking Sky, we're talking Jamie, Gary, Roy Keane.
It's interesting. Like Jamie, Micah, like they're on both.
Yeah.
It's a complete different.
Yeah. Micah's cheating.
Yeah, he's not loyal. Roy Keane, I love Roy Keane.
I don't mind Roy Keane. Don't mind Roy Keane.
I love him.
Obviously, I think he's a bit moody, but in general, Look, if that's how he is, that's how he is. I think he's pretty consistent.
He's extremely consistent / repetitive. Like
it's very repetitive.
Like, but is it hard not to be? Because that's just you, isn't it?
Part of this, you can't just keep saying the same things for every situation. Like even if it's the same situation, repeating again, pick something like talk about it in a different way or a different angle.
It is very repetitive, but
do you not like how he goes at the players? Like, because I think a lot of them, like Michael wouldn't say like, "Oh, James Maddison's playing shit."
I only like that because it's consistent. Someone like Carragher goes at the players, but it's not consistent.
Yeah. Liverpool players are all amazing, but I
liked it the first few times. And then it's just like, I know what he's going to say this weekend about a game.
Yeah, I think that's a good. The question next is how do players view pundits? Yeah. And I think he is the best kind of segue into this because we've seen the most recent one that comes to mind is James Maddison, Roy Keane. Yeah. Roy Keane said basically James Maddison isn't that guy, and I would not feel great about him like leading my change room or anything. James Maddison scores, does a little bit back to Roy Keane. Yeah. So does that instantly mean like James Maddison hates Roy Keane?
What I've noticed, like even when you're at the training ground or in the canteen and the TVs are on, always with Sky on, at the Premier League training grounds, the players view it and talk about it the same as the boys would down the pub. So almost like they hear something from, let's say, Roy Keane and they're like, don't know what he's talking about, like he's clueless.
So
they do, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same way. They do agree with some, but they also think a lot of them don't know what they're talking about.
But do they not take it as like, do they not, is Højbjerg not sending that to Maddison like, oi, look what Roy Keane just said to you, or is it deep?
Yeah, I don't think he's sending it to Maddison.
It would be deep, wouldn't it? You talk about what they're saying, but like those personal digs, you ain't sending it to your teammate and saying, look at this. Like, I think
Maddison would just be like, look at that. It's a load of shit.
And you think it gets under their skin?
Depends on the player. It clearly
depends how serious
it really got under his skin. Because I don't think what Roy Keane said was too mad.
No.
But he made sure he remembered that.
Rashford getting it every week, it might get under his skin. He probably shouldn't watch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they also view pundits like if they've got a good relationship with a pundit. If I've played with someone for 10 years and he's gone out of the game and gone into punditry, you almost are happy. I've known players to be happy when they see him on the panel because they know, right, he might protect me a bit.
And you could, and I guess there's an element of like, he's my mate.
Yeah.
So when I go on here, I'm not. Because not a lot of footballers are good at talking on TV. Like we've seen, like Elise doesn't talk at all. Do you know what I mean?
He will not be a pundit.
No, he will not be. But I guess if your mate's there, then you're going to go over and be like, well, I can be a bit more open now and relaxed.
Yeah. But I'm just mean in terms of how much they enjoy when they're like a mate's commentating on your game. Do you know what I'm saying?
I got you. Okay.
So it's like they're not going to dig me out loads and they're going to make me look good when I've done something well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I get that. Do you think they kind of put them in the same vein as like what they see online, content creators? Because we know a lot of these footballers are on Twitter, TikTok. They see what is written. Do you think they take everything with a pinch of salt, or is it different when it comes from an ex-player?
I think they do have a respect for ex-players.
Well, you have to,
more so than the content creators, definitely, for what they're saying. Like, if I was a player and I'd heard Roy Keane like being serious and slagging me off about my attitude, I'm gonna take a second look at it compared to if
Lewis Bryon says Carragher's a dick.
If you did.
Well, that's why it's got under Maddison's skin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if a random content creator did that, I'm sure he's not keeping that in his mind and thinking next time I score I'm gonna like he's
Dave 1265 has done me.
He doesn't. He would not care. But obviously, a Roy Keane is like, well, it's Roy Keane. Like everything he's done in football, very respectable. It doesn't mean you'd agree with his opinion. You might still think he doesn't have a clue what he's saying, but you would take it way more seriously than a random person online because he's done things in the game.
And he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. Would there be ever a situation where Roy Keane gives, I'm just choosing Roy Keane, gives a bit of analysis and the player's like, oh, actually, I should take that on board and listen to that? Or is it you ignoring everything like and just listening to your coaches?
I think there'll definitely be certain players that will listen and take a little bit on board.
Yeah.
But I think
someone like Maddison is not doing that.
I think it can depend on the player.
Right, okay.
Like, let's say at Arsenal right now, I don't think Declan Rice, who we love,
here we go,
is gonna will be because Arsenal were doing so well, and he obviously believes in the club and Arteta so much. He trusts in them.
Yeah,
he's not going to go looking outside on CBS for advice.
Okay.
He's just going to believe in what his manager that he trusts is saying to him. So it depends on the player, the club, the context of how well they're doing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things.
Depends on a lot as well. Like yesterday, Sturridge was saying he'd like to see him score more goals.
Yeah.
He said that at half time, and then obviously he went and scored 2. And then after an interview, he was talking to him about it. Perhaps that's not something Arteta has spoken to him about.
Yeah.
But off the back of scoring 2 goals, off the back of having that conversation with Sturridge, saying basically you've got in the locker.
Yeah.
You know,
he didn't speak to him at half time though.
No, he didn't speak to him. He spoke about it at half time, and then after the game, he
Yeah.
interviewed him and said, at half time, I was saying, I'd like to see you score more goals and stuff. He would probably take 5% of that and think, okay, well, I do have it in the locker.
Yeah.
Let me just start.
But would there not also be a 5% that's like, fuck you, I just scored twice?
Yeah, but he knows it himself.
He would know. He basically said, he said, do you remember the one Saka flashed across the box in the first half? He admitted himself, all he had to do was keep running and he scores a tap in, and he didn't. But it's just in the mind, like, he's not a natural goal scorer, so he's not thinking that.
And that was also him growing up playing at the back.
Yeah, he's just played
and then he moves slightly further forward.
He's not going to have those
It's
instincts.
hard to get. It's almost easier to do that if you're a striker than drops back into midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why when Haaland scores tap-ins all the time, people think it's like nothing, but it's in the mind. Like, you put someone else there, and he's not even realising that if I just run to the goal here,
could win you the game.
Yeah.
But there's that, like we speak about certain type of player. Like, we can see, we don't know 100%, but Declan Rice is a good guy, right? He's not going to be offended by Sturridge saying you need to score more. However, someone like James Maddison might take that as, do you know what? Fuck you.
I think that'd be a bit mature because what Sturridge said was not, it wasn't coming for him. He basically said, he's got the ability. I'd like to see him score more goals.
Yeah.
Any footballer should be able to hear that and say, either you agree with it or disagree with it. But like, if you disagree, it's not like he hasn't come for you.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot worse things pundits have said about players, like completely gone for them. So any player shouldn't really take that personally, what Sturridge said, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of true as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I get that. On TV, we see highlights.
Yeah.
They rinse them at half time, they rinse them after, we see them online. If you have a little, let's say you haven't scored, you've done a naughty little nutmeg or something.
Yeah.
Are you like looking for that after / pissed when you don't find it?
You know what? When I used to look at the highlights of my games, and I thought I'd done something well, and then I look and it's on there, it did piss me off.
Did it?
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
Yeah, 100.
Why is it not being shown? Extend your highlights. That would piss players off a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Because the goals and the near misses and that always get shown, but like sometimes you do something really good, but it's just not a goal. You need that to be shown.
I actually remember I nutmegged someone during a game, and we get our like extended highlights put on like YouTube, and this was when I was a 21 at Palace, and I was waiting for it. It happened like 60th minute or something, and I was waiting for it, and it got to like 55, then it skipped to the next clip at like 70. I was thinking, sure, it happened at 60.
Are you saying to anyone like, yo, why is that not in?
Of course not.
You wanted that?
Yeah, I was like, they sent me the clip, don't worry.
You got it. Yeah. But like last night, again, Arsenal, Real Madrid, we're talking about it. Lewis Skelly had moments of like,
those wouldn't be on highlights.
Keeping people off the ball and then passing it off.
Yeah, very good.
Like, but is he not like, oh, what? Where can I?
To be fair,
get used to it by then.
His is different because his whole game was live.
So enough
people have watched it.
That's true. That's big. Yeah.
Whereas if it's like a 3 o'clock kickoff for a Premier League match, it's not shown. Then you're like, these people ain't seen how fucking sick I've played.
I think it's that game live. More people would have watched the game live than seen the highlights. Everyone was watching. Whereas a 3 p.m. where it's not on TV.
Yeah.
We would just never know how good you played.
Tearing it up, but no goal, no assist.
We would
most people don't know.
Correct.
It's mad,
If you're not in a game, you nutmeg the fullback, you cross it in, and the striker just completely goes over his head. Are you not like, you bastard? That would have been my clip.
Yeah, 100. Not only would have been your assist.
Are you actually in the game?
Yeah.
That might still be shown though.
It might be, but it might not be as well. Whereas if you scored, it's definitely shown.
You fucker. You've nicked me a move.
If you're like 2-0 up at half time, I was at the striker, mate, that was my highlight, bro. That was going straight on Instagram.
Yeah, I've definitely heard those combos.
You can get your own highlights though from the analyst, can't you?
You can always get them, but people are a bit like, do I post this? You ain't posted a clip of you beating a man and crossed it and your striker didn't score. You're not.
Would you not go up to the analyst like, Can you send me that, please?
Yeah, I'd get it,
Just
but then
edit it so
it's
like
like,
someone
okay.
scored.
he's got 60 videos in the draft of him mincing a fullback and then nothing happening. That is quality. How do they select the players for post-match interviews? Because they do always seem to be like, you don't tend to get an Elise these days, do you? You get a Rice, you get a Saka, you get...
I've noticed it's usually, like after the game, they'll just call someone in, and it's usually if you've done something big in the game, so good or bad.
So as Rice scored that second free kick, obviously he's not thinking about it, but 90th minute, the whistle goes, is he like, I'm going to have an interview now?
Yeah, he will know that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that will be on his mind. Like, not on his mind like, oh my God, I've got an interview, but it'll be like...
Do you have to do it?
Yeah, they'll have to do it, yeah. It'll be part of the broadcasting deal. No,
right.
So what, like, what about the players that don't speak English?
Oh.
I mean, they won't get them there.
Because like, I remember people like Aguero for years didn't come.
Yeah.
Like
they probably just wouldn't get them. Like, when has Messi ever done one?
Exactly.
Yeah. He'll do it for Spanish.
Yeah, that's very true.
Their TV, but no, yeah, the broadcasters pick the person. They're not going to pick someone that don't speak English.
So it's just okay.
Yeah. So nothing happens in the game. It's 0-0. Literally the most boring game ever. How do they decide who to interview? Is it like who we know's got the best personality, or who we know is the captain?
Who's going to get them the most clicks? So whether
are they thinking in that way?
Of course, yeah. Who's going to get them the most clicks, or the most like who we can ask the most controversial questions for? So if it's a Liverpool game, for example, 0-0, nothing happened.
Yeah,
they're going to go Van Dijk or Trent or Salah because their contract's running out.
Yeah,
it's going to be something like that.
They're not pulling Kivior in from Arsenal.
No, definitely not.
They're getting your Rice, your Saka.
They're going to get someone who's got a big topic to talk about. If they can't,
it makes sense.
I've never thought. Yeah, of course. I've never thought of it of like.
Yeah.
How come?
It's the same way if you was a content creator.
Yeah,
you'd do it.
yeah.
It's the same for them. Like, why would you get someone that no one wants to listen to?
And there's just nothing. You just get the biggest name.
Yeah,
or the skipper. Just
Van Dijk's.
It's like we've got an interview with Van Dijk over an interview with Szoboszlai.
Yeah. And do you think when they're doing this, Declan Rice would have been happy to talk last night, right? But do you think like Arteta's like, I can't be asked to talk to Daniel Sturridge?
Yeah,
100%.
Really?
He just has like,
I mean, Declan Rice is a different situation last night because he's just scored a worldie. He's so buzzing to talk about it and look at it back. But I always think fair play to the players that have fucked up basically, and they've been dragged in for the interview after, and then they've got to go speak about it and like with a cool head.
Yes.
Or
I didn't even think about when we're talking big moments.
The reason I ask do they have to is because a lot of the times when there's a bad moment, you won't see them called. Like let's say hypothetically Rice. Yeah, okay, so let's say Rice got sent off yesterday. I doubt they'd call him.
Yeah, but if they did,
he'd have. That's mad.
He'd have to. It's part of his contract.
So they're just a bit like conscious as well.
They want to keep a good relationship with the club as well.
Yeah,
like
because I've never seen that. Like someone score an own goal or like get sent off or like cost their team and then get called. You never see that.
Yeah, I think you used to see it more, but they're always trying to build a good relationship with the club. So
that makes sense. Let me put you a scenario. So last night, Declan Rice scores 2 free kicks. He in his head he's like, right, I'm gonna be on Sky Sports or CBS or whatever. If they then were like, Saka, let's interview you. Do you think Declan Rice was like hanging around in the background? Are you not going to interview
about me?
Yeah. Surely he'd want to talk about it.
I don't know. I don't think he'd be like that, if I'm honest.
You don't?
I think they'd prefer not to.
Surely he'd want to, though. You'd be like,
yeah, but you'd want to if you've never done it. But once you do it,
yeah, that is. He's never scored 2 free kicks in a game.
Especially, he might want to. He might want to.
Right, the business of TV football. How much money is in punditry? Because this could go back to the first question of, is it the best job in the world? Because if you're getting paid some thousands to talk about Arsenal, Real Madrid after,
you're definitely getting paid thousands, 100%.
They're getting paid a lot.
What are we talking?
I remember I was talking to someone. What was his name? Anyway, he was like a lower league player, but he would go, like on a Saturday 3 o'clock where they go to like a League 2 match and someone's in the stadium with a with a mic, or someone's even on the pitch doing the punditry, but it's low level. They'd get like £1,000 a day.
Oh mate! So if we're talking Sky Sport, we're talking like the 20s.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers for like Sky Sports.
Yeah,
TNT,
of course.
But I know it'd be a lot more than that.
What do you think you're going to pay Thierry Henry to come and talk every week? Imagine doesn't need money, doesn't need you know what I mean?
Imagine him for an advert, but you've got that advert for like 2 hours, 3 hours.
And these aren't people that need tickets to go and see a game. If Henry wanted to be at that game yesterday, he'd be at that game. So it's like you actually have to pay them to want to come.
Good money.
Yeah. So they're getting paid a lot.
So it's definitely the fucking best job in football.
Yeah, other than playing,
Other than playing, it could be better than playing, I'll be honest. Playing comes with a lot of loads.
Yeah.
Like the Punditry doesn't come with any loads, really, as long as you don't fluff your lines.
Slagging them off sometimes.
Which we do.
Yeah.
What do networks really want there? Because we've spoken about it. Do they want pundits who get the clicks? Do they want controversial opinions? Do they want football IQ?
Yeah.
If it boils down to like, what do we want?
Sadly, I think it's in that order. I think they want clicks,
really?
Controversy and football IQ. Clicks first, controversy, which will bring clicks.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a football IQ somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But if it's not bringing clicks, then what's the point?
Surely it's like ideal when you get someone like a Micah Richards then, who is technical, does know about the game, but also gets the clicks.
Yeah,
they've
hit the jackpot with him for sure.
But it's definitely the technical analysis is still very basic from when I hear it.
But it's the football IQ that any professional footballer will have.
Yes,
it's not. Yeah. It's not like
you have your outliers like Henry, right? You have your Henry over here who has ridiculous technical analysis, and then you've got everyone else. He's definitely in that. And that's no disrespect to him. He's funny as well, which is a dream.
Yeah, that's literally it.
So do the media actually care about ex-pros or who just gets views? Because you see Sky Sports now, like you are getting content creators on there.
Yeah. It's definitely clicks because there's some players that will come on like randomly and you hear them and you can tell that their analysis is really top. Yeah. But they're not there regularly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones that are there all the time, week in, week out, it's never going to be bad.
Yeah.
Like I've said, if you've played in the Premier League, you're going to know more football than the average man on the street. Yeah. So talking to the average man on the street, you're always going to be fine.
Yes.
But it's not necessarily high-level analysis. Yeah. It's very basic. Mm-hmm. And but because of the clicks, they're like...
Yeah. And it's for the broader audience to understand.
Anyways, so it's not that important.
The best analysis you always see is from when managers come on.
Yeah. Like, on Monday Night Football or something. Yeah,
but then it's just like a bit of a boring watch sometimes.
Yeah,
it's very insightful if you're a big lover of football, deeply
or if you're a player or something like that. Yeah, but
if you're just like a casual fan, you're going to be bored.
Yeah,
so there's no relationships, or it's all like ruthless, same as in football. Like who's going to give us the most return?
Is that not like a sad thing? Because
that's
like
the world.
You go, I know, but you want to watch this like analysis. Punditry, for a bit of analysis. If you're just grabbing someone because you know they'll go viral, the problem is long, isn't it?
They have to please the public. If the public actually wanted to see deep analysis week in, week out, they'd do it. But like you said, I reckon if they went down that route, the retention wouldn't be that high. Like people would like it for one day. Like if Pep came once, maybe. But then Pep clicks anyways.
That's true.
But if like your average Prem manager comes in, like one off, cool, let's hear what he has to say. But after a while, I don't think people are sitting there on a Monday night, like ready to learn about football.
That's true.
It's just kind of let's watch football and be entertained.
Yeah. They're not doing it for no reason. Like they've obviously tried that, especially in the past and in like little patches where they get more deep analysis, but then they obviously see the numbers drop off compared to the content creators and people like that, and they can't compete with them then. Yeah. So they've got to obviously take what they're doing.
But you can also go too deep into analysis, like you said. Like it needs to be coherent and not go over people's heads. We were talking about in our last pod. Half of Twitter, Declan Rice can't be world class because he can't take the ball on the half turn with his body shape. I don't want to fucking listen to that after a game. Do you know what I mean? I want to listen to a bit of analysis. What should they have done better here? Not going into their body shape when they're receiving the ball.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't mind that.
That's because it's from Twitter people. If
I like hearing
Roy Keane came and started talking about the way Rice receives the ball, I'd listen to that because I'd
not him. If Scholes did it, I would.
We were talking about Roy Keane, but yeah, exactly. If Scholes comes now and starts saying if Rice positioned himself like this, he'd be better on half turn. I'd 100% listen to that.
Do you think?
I'd be all over that.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, because that's the tiniest detail.
Or is it just because you thought football?
No, I don't think most people would. I don't think most people would, and that's
because I couldn't give a fuck.
That answers your point.
My best analysis would be if Busquets spoke English. I just want him to just break down some like 10 minutes highlights of his clips.
But would you not be bored?
No. I could do that for hours and hours.
Yeah. I'm thinking like Pascal Segan or Senderos doing it.
Senderos.
Yeah. The difference between how pundits act on camera versus off camera. Like without naming names, I've seen. I was at Baller League on Monday night. I'm not naming names. I've seen how people are. I met 3 pundits on Monday night. Very nice. As soon as they're in front of a camera, it's on. Yeah. Different.
Because if that's pundits, their job, they've got to be different.
Yeah.
Even we spoke previously about like protecting certain clubs or pundits. I know a pundit, again, not being named, who would protect a club massively in the media, and then you'd hear voice notes that got leaked through him to his mates, basically saying the owner's a wanker, basically.
Oh, wow.
And like the club's just gone to pot. So they act completely different sometimes, to on camera to off camera. Sometimes, obviously.
Sometimes they don't, and that's why I think I like people like Roy Keane, because I don't think he's now.
Yeah, he's just the same everywhere.
That's why I respect it. I don't think he's. I do think he's grumpy, but like I can just tell that he's the same across all. Yeah. Like off camera, on camera. Yeah. There's no difference in how he treats one player to another. It's just the same.
Which is sad though, because it means he's just never happy off camera. He's just all.
Yeah.
He made himself laugh when he did that baby clip though.
To be fair, he does laugh a bit on what is it? The overlap.
Yeah.
He does make some jokes on there.
That's probably because he's got told to. Gary's like, listen, Roy, you've got to laugh sometimes, mate. We're trying to make people.
He literally said to Micah, didn't they? When Micah was like, football makes me smile. And he was like, I hate it when people smile on the pitch. Do your job. That is crazy. Are there any pundit rivalries? Like a North London derby of pundits?
I reckon there are pundits that dislike working with other pundits.
For what reason? Because they're dickheads or they're just not good at their job?
If there was a pundit that I worked with a lot and I always just did not agree with what he was saying, or I thought he just worded everything a bit like disrespectful or wrong, whatever. Yeah. Then I wouldn't necessarily like working with him.
So like again, Roy Keane argues with everyone. Yeah. Do you think people are
turn up?
God, I've got to work with him.
Or he's off again, like talking shit.
Yeah. I reckon Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have a lot of attention.
Do you think they're friends off
their rivalries
TV?
They did have a big rivalry, I think, but it's now turned into like, right, we can play on this as like a dynamic duo.
Yes. I think exactly. I think it stemmed from the actually just saw complete opposite in everything, and you can tell sometimes when they're arguing, it's like they both think each other's stupid. Like they just can't see eye to eye. Now they're probably playing off of it for likes and clicks, and because of that, they're probably not as angry at each other anymore.
Yeah, but they get on better.
Yeah.
However, I will argue with my mates about football all the time. One of them is a Leeds fan. He's a twat. I hope he watches this. But there's never like malice. Yeah. Sometimes them two.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There is a bit of.
That's what I'm saying.
It's because they've come from Liverpool, United.
They really don't like each other.
So they've come through rival teams playing in the most competitive industry. Like you can't just switch that off, and it's taken years for that to almost half switch off.
You don't think they're going Nando's together?
No, I reckon they would.
I reckon at this point, this is the thing, they've been forced to work with each other for years now.
That is true.
If they were still like hating each other, one of them would have to leave at this point.
Yeah. If they only work with each other like once every 4 months, they
definitely wouldn't be up front on camera.
Do you think there's rivalries between like CBS and TNT and Sky Sports?
There's so much overlap, isn't it? Like
Michael Richards. No,
I think.
Yeah, I know there is.
Do you think they all hate CBS because they're like, we do this technical analysis and they get millions of views because Mike has got a new haircut?
And speed comes on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess. But then they've all been on Sky, like Carragher's on Sky Sports, Mike on Sky Sports, Henri's on Sky Sports every now and then. So it's like it's just
broadcaster slags, aren't they?
Yeah, the
just go everywhere.
The producers will probably have a rivalry, or
the companies.
The companies will sort of, but the actual pundits, they just go on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Right, let's do some pundit questions. Would you be a pundit? Just the yes or no, Lewis.
Would I be a pundit?
Yes.
Yes.
Ken? Just yes or no? Yes. What sort of pundit would you be? If you had to link yourself
2-1.
Yeah. Who would you be?
I would be. It's a hard question. Rio Ferdinand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Why?
Why are you laughing?
You just love him, isn't it?
No, I just think
Nicolas Jackson.
No, I just think I don't know. He's just he sort of blurs the lines between the technical analysis, the cool like guy from Omri, that type of thing, and then also like the banter online stuff.
He does a lot more of like his own stuff though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You don't see him like on Sky Sports every weekend.
No, he can
But
do.
you'd like to.
Yeah, he's best of both worlds.
There you go. Ken, who would you be? Jamie Carragher.
Definitely not.
I know what he's going to say.
Who am I going to say?
No, I'm going to.
Hey, keep it in your head.
Yeah.
Keep it in your head.
Henri.
Oh, I've done the T.
Did you?
The camera will pick that up.
That means I'm not lying.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who was on last night? Was it Clivert?
Yes.
I see a bit of Clivert in you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Nice.
I know exactly who would you be. Jamie Carragher.
And
the dickhead.
Who would you actually be?
I don't think you can.
No, do you know what? I love the way Ian Wright is as a player.
Yeah, but
It's
he,
like-
he
it's-
gets a bit too emotional. I don't see you getting
Yeah.
like too like delusional emotional.
But
Though.
that my throat hurts this morning from screaming last night.
Maybe, maybe you will.
I'm too emotional.
I said this for
Pause. What would you change about pundit shows if you could? You could implement one change. It could be
don't
whatever
know.
you want.
I don't actually know what I'd change.
I'd like them to be as neutral as possible when
Do you not think it needs it?
I just want them to be more honest.
I don't like it because it's not. You said it needs it.
Yeah.
Not every club has a representative. You go on
That's
Sky
very
Sports.
true.
They've got Liverpool and United.
I got mine.
Who do we have? So every week you listen to commentary or you listen to Punditry and it's anti-Arsenal.
Oh, it's so.
But he's not on Sky Sports week in week. Like the mate, like for
If
the
you think
Premier
about
League.
pundits who are, Henri, even though he's Arsenal, is very neutral.
That's what I'm saying. So we don't have a Jamie Carragher for Arsenal.
We're just slating
So then
Jamie
it's annoying,
Carragher, aren't
yeah.
we? Like, and Gary Neville, they're so biased towards their
It's
clubs.
just ridiculously biased in every type of way.
Yeah. I'd have a keeper pundit because we don't get keepers as pundits. For some
because
reason.
you said they were fucking weird.
Did you hear what Joey Barton said about them though?
Oh, not him.
It was like
Right,
I think Shay Given was on.
He's someone I will call that a knobhead, mate.
He was on.
seriously.
I can't remember what show it was, but he was a pundit on a game, and then Joey Barton was like, "Why is he on there?" He was like, "He played with him, great guy, hasn't got a clue about football." He said all they know how to do, goalkeepers, is save shots. He's like, he shouldn't be sitting there telling midfielders how to get on the ball and stuff. I don't agree with
just
Joey
fucking
Barton
hate
there,
Joey
but
Barton.
it was funny because
Yeah, of course. Yeah, clip this. Joey Barton, you're a fucking cock. I hate you. And no one cares about what you think. Clip that and send it to me. You're a dickhead. I hate you. There you go.
Right, let me go back to what I was saying. No, I'd have a keeper pundit just for when players talk about whenever it's highlights on a keeper.
Yeah.
They don't know.
They don't. Yeah, that's
Like
true.
me
They don't.
included.
Yeah,
So it's best just to clear that up with an actual keeper.
for sure. A lot of the keeper analysis is so lazy.
Just bring him in, yeah.
Like a keeper will get
they
beaten
don't
near
know what
post,
they're
and then,
talking about,
players will just be like, "You should never get beaten near post."
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Why is he saving it with that hand? Like maybe he's taught to save it with that hand.
yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
definitely true.
I would do, on each show, you are allowed to mute one player.
Oh,
So like on CBS, if you don't want to listen to Jamie Carragher, you can just mute
That'd be
him.
quite good.
That'd be unreal.
You just get
And it's just like a nice elevator, like lift music whilst he's
while
talking.
they talk.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking class, by the
There
way.
you go.
Oh my god, Sky Sports.
When did you come up with that one?
Dude, just then.
Sky Sports, you don't need it though. You just mute the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I actually would end up muting the whole
Just
thing.
want some really tranquil music. Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
Right, I want the best and the worst pundit from
Yeah.
each of you. Not
Best.
collective, I want each.
Best, Peter Crouch.
Oh, you love Crouch, you did. Yeah.
Worst, Jamie Carragher.
Oh, you are hating him today.
No, Roy Keane. Then Jamie Carragher.
Wow.
Best, Henri.
Yeah.
Worst. Oh, it's a tough one. There's two, and it's who do I hate most? I'm gonna go Carragher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do I hate most?
What
Is
about you?
deep. I'm going Micah, best.
Yeah,
Pure
not bad.
vibes.
Yeah.
Pure vibes. And worst, I might go, this might shock you, I might go Wayne Rooney.
Not
Because-
much pizzazz.
There's zero. By the way, technical, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would like a bit of entertainment
Again,
in my.
Gaffer.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
You see the difference. It's just a bit boring.
I know what you're saying. He's definitely not there for entertainment.
I just listen to him because he's Wazza.
That's why I listen to him.
completely get that.
And then when you actually listen to what he's saying, majority of the time he knows what he's saying.
Yeah, 100% he does. I just can't be asked to listen.
I'd lose respect for him if he starts doing what Micah Richards does.
1,000,000%. For me, I want.
He can't do that because he wants to be a manager. Like, so it's like,
that is true.
How would you walk into a change room like in a few months' time off the back of behaving like Micah?
Yeah, you've not got that in you. Who deserves a spot on TV that isn't getting it? That's a great question.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
It is hard
because you don't know if they're not getting it.
No, you've got to pick someone. I need someone.
Okay, now let me think of ex-players who've recently retired. English ex-players.
It's tough because you've got to think who's got a personality.
Yeah.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Oh, he'd be good. That's a good shout.
I wouldn't mind just to see what he says.
I'd like... I'm trying to think of who are England players that have recently retired?
Oh, you want someone
I'd like John Terry, actually. I know he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
He would have the opportunity to do it. But I'd like to see John Terry on there.
He's too busy managing a baller league.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's jokes.
Anyone can?
It is hard to... Because you have to think who had a personality on the pitch.
Yeah, you have to pre-think about it, don't you?
Because if you're going someone like now, Declan Rice would be an unbelievable pundit.
Probably be good, yeah.
I would like to see James Maddison purely because I think he would be brutal.
Do you think?
Yeah. Because he's a bit of a...
What about like Jermaine Pennant? He could be good.
Yeah?
Just for like Micah vibes.
But then are people going to go, you weren't that good at football, so I'm not going to listen to you. I know he was good at football.
Yeah. Maybe.
You could say the same about Micah Richards.
Yeah, but he's funny.
He did win the Prem though.
No, I know, but like Jermaine Pennant played, like he had a good career.
Yeah, no, I
it's
feel
a stupid thing to say. Once you've played enough Premier League games, you have the right to talk about Premier League.
But
players.
all of them on there have won big trophies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Apart from the guy who was Johnson's Paint Trophy, 3rd round,
Yeah,
10 minutes. Remember that? I can't remember. I'll have to find it. I'll try and find
Anyway,
it.
yeah.
Right, let's end. Because we've given some props to certain pundits. We've slated some. Who's the most overrated?
Yeah, well, same as my worst. Actually, is he overrated?
But then
it's kind of similar.
Not.
Yeah, overrated. Gary Lineker.
Oh, okay.
But I think he has more to give, but he almost presents to give everyone else the...
Yes. Yeah,
that's
I think he's a presenter more than a pundit.
Well, you like Roy Keane, so I'm going Roy Keane.
Yeah, I get that.
It's one of the worst too.
I get that.
G-Nev.
I was going to say the same.
Yeah, I like him sometimes.
Because it's so fickle. If it's Man United, great. Anyway, also last night he would have said something that Arsenal
did you hear what he said on the weekend?
What did he say?
Like one of the United players went down, weren't a pen, and like his natural fan instinct on the commentary was like pen.
Yeah, this is what I mean. You can't do that. You can't do that.
He's also like contradicts himself. Did you see at the weekend he was complaining about lack of passion?
Yes.
Yeah.
But when we saw Gabriel celebrating in Haaland's face, it was, I don't like that. That's
Lewis Skelly,
Arteta. Which one is it? Like, do we want passion or not?
This is when we go to the bias, isn't it? Like
it's clearly biased.
Odegaard too much celebrating, Arteta, Rice against Luton too much celebrating.
So then it's bias. Whereas you see a Roy Keane, I can see that whichever opinion he'd have, it'd be pretty consistent all round. And it's like, okay, I might not like your opinion, but I know you're genuine. How can you, within the space of 2 months, slate Arsenal for being disrespectful when everyone else saw that rivalry and kind of thought, the rivalries are coming back, this is good. You've painted that as disrespectful. All of a sudden, the weekend is the most boring Manchester derby of the last 10 years. And you're not happy about that. You want to see now something ticking off.
It's like, is there a point that I half believe that I can just go with that's going to cause a bit of stir? That's what he thinks at every situation.
Because that they were so similar, but he gave completely two different answers. It must be for the clicks.
Yeah. Definitely, man.
Right, so let's end, and I think we do a poll on TikTok.
Yeah.
Who would be the best pundit out of us three? Because he's going to back himself.
Yeah.
Thanks. You would be more of a manager, and I'm a content creator.
Yeah, so we've got 3 different... That's why we're the perfect podcast.
Yeah, so Lewis, Noah, or Ken, who would be...
Depends what you like.
The best pundit.
If you're going entertainment, I'm saying Noah.
Yeah, entertainment, you've
Thank you!
But if we're going Neymar's contract clause, then you're going...
if we're going cap and lies, we're going Lewis, aren't we?
Lies.
Wow, that's outrageous.
Great way to...